Hello and welcome once again to my channel adventuresofmidlife.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about my recent stay at the Royal Sunset Cancun Resort in, Cancun in Mexico. This is my second video about my trip to Cancun. In the first video, I had talked about what I did in Cancun during the 4+ days. As I had mentioned in my previous video, I used my Air Miles to book the hotel. The 5 nights at the Sunset Royal Cancun Resort cost me just under 15,000 Air Miles plus about Canadian dollars 450. The amount included an all-inclusive package including the drinks for 2 people. The 202-room hotel is located within the hotel zone in Kukulkan Boulevard in Cancun, Mexico. I was supposed to have arrived at the hotel early afternoon, but because of a 4-hour flight delay, my arrival didn't happen till early evening. The room at the Royal Sunset Cancun Resort was spacious and comfortable with a double bed. There was a small table with comfy chairs where I could sit and enjoy a drink or a meal, which was a nice touch. The room also had all the usual features that one would expect, including a television, an electric kettle, a Keurig coffee machine, ironing board, iron, safe, etc. etc. And the bathroom was clean and had a nice shower, which I really liked. I usually like showers over tubs. And the supplies were frequently provided or refilled. One of the highlights of the room was the nice balcony with a small table and 2 chairs that overlooked the lagoon. It was also a great spot to sit and relax after a long day of exploring or, just lazing around. However, I did notice that the lagoon side was comparatively cooler than the seaside. Between the lagoon and my room was the rather long entrance path of the hotel and the Kukulkan Boulevard. Sometimes it was a little bit noisy. The only downside to the room was that it was an adjoining/connecting room with a door inside to the next room. This meant there was no acoustic privacy at all, which could be a problem for some guests. Additionally, the rooms located around the atrium can be noisy. On the ground level of the atrium is the Italian restaurant, and I heard the cutlery clanging and the people's chatter until late in the night and then from early in the morning. I was on the 4th floor and I could hear the noise well past midnight. So, if you like a quiet sleep, avoid the rooms along the corridor of the atrium, irrespective of which floor you are in. The resort has 3 restaurants, each with a distinct theme and cuisine. The Italian restaurant served buffet-style breakfast and lunch, along with Italian dinners. The outdoor restaurant specialized in Mexican cuisine, but just for dinner, while the main restaurant offered buffet-style breakfast and lunch, and for dinner there was a theme every night, from Asian to Argentinian. There's no reservation policy for any of the restaurants for dinner. I should also note that the Italian restaurant was more formal even for breakfast and lunch with formal cutlery, etc. The main restaurant had Western and Mexican dishes for breakfast. One day, they had seafood lunch at the main restaurant, and I enjoyed the fresh seafood from shrimps to squid rings to crablets. But it was the Mexican restaurant that really impressed me. The dishes were unique and flavorful, and the chefs tried their best to deliver an authentic experience. I went there for dinner twice. However, the Asian dinner night in the main restaurant was a bit of a letdown. The rice was overcooked and sometimes there was too much rice. We also had access to free alcohol drinks, and the cocktails were decently good. Sometimes I had mojito, but I mostly stuck to beer or margaritas. Well, one key reason I came to Mexico in January, which is winter time in Canada, is I wanted the warm weather and a beach. And I should say, the beach is one of the resort's best features, and it's easy to see why. The white sand is soft and inviting, and the water is a stunning shade of turquoise. As I waded into the water, I found that it got deeper fairly quickly, but that was just for a few feet, and then it leveled off and was shallow for a while. But the waves were somewhat strong on some days. The good thing was that the water temperature was just right, not too cold at all. And time to time, there were salespeople selling souvenirs, etc., but they never harassed me. I also spent some time lounging by the pool. And if you are interested in fitness or relaxation, the Sunset Royal Cancun Resort has you covered. They have a spa and gym, although these are subject to extra charges, and I never tried any of them. Besides the beach, perhaps one of the other best features about this resort is the events calendar. They offer a wide variety of activities throughout the day, from morning yoga and stretching to dance classes including Zumba to beach volleyball and aqua gym. In the early afternoons, there were various tastings from fish to barbecue to pork tasting by the Mexican restaurant. The theater outside the main building comes alive in the evenings with a different program each day, ranging from Mexican to Mayan and Caribbean. The Michael Jackson show was particularly impressive, with dazzling lights and effects that had the crowd on their feet. And after the show, the action always moved to the hotel lobby where there was live music, dancing as well. Well, dancing mostly by the guests. One feature that caught my attention upon checking in at the hotel was the use of new technology. For example, instead of traditional room keys, the usual all-inclusive bracelet had an RFID tag which can be scanned to open the door. I like that feature because I didn't have to carry the card all the time and there was no fear of losing it. I also had to scan in my RFID when I checked in for meals, whether it was breakfast or dinner. This modern technology reminded me of some of the hotels I had stayed in earlier, particularly the JW Marriott Marquis in Dubai, where everything was automated, even though they didn't have the RFID, but basically I could control everything from the AC to light through a central panel. I had free Wi-Fi access and it worked mostly well, although I should say that I wasn't using it to stream movies or anything that was bandwidth heavy. There were also sufficient power outlets in the room to charge my devices. The Sunset Royal Resort is part of a timeshare collective which is called the Sunset Club, with at least 2 or perhaps 3 more resorts within Cancun itself. I had the opportunity to visit one of them, the Sunset Marina, which is connected via a small water taxi, and there is an inter-resort free bus service as well. I do think that there are some other resorts, at least one in Mayan Riviera area, that are part of the Sunset Club, but I'm not sure how access works. I was offered incentives that ranged from massages to a trip to a massive hacienda with cenotes, etc. that is part of this timeshare collective, and in return I had to attend quote presentation unquote, but I declined politely and they didn't pressure me. However, I did notice that club members receive various perks such as dedicated areas in the beach and the pool and access to a separate bar. I think the Sunset Club members also have access to the other resorts based on the package they have chosen. Some final comments. The staff was very professional and friendly, and the resort was all around very clean. The food was also good, even though I should say the Asian restaurant could improve. And I wish they had buffet options for dinner as well. As I mentioned earlier, I wasn't really happy with the type of room they gave me. The room itself is really good, But as I mentioned, it is an adjoining room and there was no privacy at all. I could hear my neighbors chatting as if they were in the same room. So I wish they had given me a different room, or at least they should make these rooms a little bit more soundproof. Well, that's it for now for this edition of Adventures of Midlife.com channel. In this video, I chatted about my experience staying at the Royal Sunset Cancun Resort for 5 nights. I hope you enjoyed my video and hope to see you soon. Ciao.